Assistant discovered billionaire in tears on bathroom floor. What happened next is incredible. The rain pounded against the sprawling windows of Mr. Simmons' estate, mirroring the storm brewing inside Jack's mind. As he stepped into the grand foyer, he could feel the weight of the world pressing on his shoulders. He had worked tirelessly for this reclusive billionaire, often sacrificing time with his young children, Chloe and Ethan, just to keep the endless grind moving. Every paycheck seemed to slip through his fingers, a reminder of the life he had dreamed of but could never quite grasp. Jack ascended the monumental staircase, his heart racing. Silence fell over the home like a thick fog. Where the laughter of staff used to fill the air, now there was only stillness. He pushed open the bathroom door, and in that split second, everything changed. There, crumpled on the floor, was Mr. Simmons, a far cry from the powerful figure Jack knew him to be. The billionaire's body shook with sobs, tears carving paths down his weathered cheeks, something so raw and vulnerable that Jack's heart dropped. In that moment, time stood still. Jack kneeled beside the broken man, the air heavy with unsaid words. The billion-dollar empire felt like it had crumbled away, leaving only a man stripped of his success, lost in regret and isolation. Jack swallowed hard, memories flooding his mind, fighting to provide for his family, watching them grow while feeling trapped in a cycle of debt. "Mr. Simmons," he whispered, concern lacing his tone. Through shaky breaths, the billionaire spoke, revealing stories of decisions made and family bonds severed. He talked about his estranged daughter, about dinners missed, and birthday cards never sent, all for the sake of ambition. Jack's own story echoed in his mind, the missed soccer games and bedtime stories that weighed heavily on his soul. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the conversation deepened, Jack felt a flicker of hope spark between them. Here were two men, different worlds apart, yet bonded by grief and longing for something more. Encouragingly, Jack urged Mr. Simmons to make peace with his past, especially with his daughter, as time slipped away, like sand through his fingers. But just as they began to form a plan, a shocking family secret unraveled, the truth emerging like a dark storm cloud threatening to spill over their fragile connection. Determined to forge something better, Jack suggested a community project, a center to help bridge the economic divide in their neighborhood. In that moment, as they envisioned something from nothing, doubts crept in. Would this really bring healing, or would the threat of a long-buried family secret keep them shackled to the past? As they stood on the precipice of transformation, an unsettling tension hung in the air. Could they pick up the pieces of their lives and the relationships they once took for granted? Or would the looming specter of regret tear it all down? Jack looked into Mr. Simmons's eyes, hoping the flicker of determination he saw reflected back would be enough to light their way forward. Jack took a deep breath, the faint scent of bleach and disinfectant lingering in the air, an odd comfort amid the chaos. Mr. Simmons seemed to draw strength from Jack's presence, his sobs softening, morphing from anguish into quiet contemplation. They shared an unspoken bond, one forged in heartbreak and unfulfilled dreams. Jack, still kneeling, felt a strange sense of purpose blooming within him. "What if we start with a conversation, Mr. Simmons?" Jack suggested gently. "Reaching out to your daughter could be the first step. You could invite her to that community center we talked about. Maybe you can make it a place where she can share her voice too." Mr. Simmons rubbed his temples, a look of fatigue washing over his face. "But what if she doesn't want to see me?" His voice was small, a stark contrast to the commanding presence that often filled rooms. "Then you try again," Jack replied. "It's never too late to reach out. Believe me, I wish I could turn back time with my own kids." He hesitated, the pain of his own past flaring briefly. But I know that every moment counts. No matter how buried the past is, it can't get worse by trying, can it? As the billionaire processed Jack's words, the clouds outside began to lift. Sunlight filtered through the rain-splattered windows, casting warm rays across the tiled floor. It felt like a renewal, as if the universe was easing their burdens, showing a way forward. "You're right," Mr. Simmons finally said, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes. "Perhaps this community center could be more than just a project. It could be my way back to her." Jack nodded, feeling a swell of admiration for the man before him. Mr. Simmons was still far from the version of himself that he aspired to be, but this moment of clarity was a breakthrough in the fog they'd both been caught in. "Why not make it a family day?" Jack proposed, excitement creeping into his tone. "You could invite the community and create a space for them to share their stories. A chance for you and your daughter to meet in a safe atmosphere, surrounded by support." Mr. Simmons chuckled softly, the sound almost shy. "In my wealth, I built towering walls, but perhaps it's time I build bridges instead." With renewed purpose, they dove deeper into their plans, the location, the types of activities, even rough sketches of designs for the center. Ideas bounced around like children in a playground, brightening the dullness that had settled in the house. Jack felt lighter with every suggestion, witnessing Mr. Simmons transform from a broken man into a hopeful visionary. But just as the plans began to take shape, Jack received a notification on his phone. He glanced down, his heart racing. It was a message from his daughter, Chloe. It was brief, a simple question about their weekend plans, but it struck deep. The resolve blossoming in him faltered for a moment, reminding him of his own choices and time lost. "I have to go," Jack said suddenly, urgency welling within him. "I need to be with my kids." Mr. Simmons looked up, understanding lacing his expression. "Go. Be there for them. You're the kind of father I wish I had been." As Jack turned to leave, he felt an overwhelming wave of determination surge through him. The journey ahead was still fraught with challenges, but he was not just stepping away. He was stepping forward, carrying the weight of newfound hope not just for himself, but for Mr. Simmons and his long-lost daughter. Would fate allow both of these men to find redemption? Would the bonds they sought out be enough to hold back the ghosts of their past? As Jack approached the front door, rain still washing the world outside, he couldn't shake the feeling that everything was on the brink of change. Could the light of connection truly shine through their shadows? Jack's footsteps echoed off the tiles as he hurried to his car, the weight of urgency pressing against his chest. He could picture Chloe's warm smile, the way light danced in her eyes when she was excited. Guilt and love mingled together, a bittersweet reminder of the time they had lost. Sliding into the driver's seat, he took a moment to gather himself, resting his hands on the steering wheel. What would he say to her? How could he bridge the gap that had grown between them? The sun blazed into the car, warming his skin and igniting a spark of hope. "Okay, Chloe," he whispered to himself. "Let us figure this out." The drive to his daughter's school felt eternal, each stoplight extending his anticipation. He thought of Mr. Simmons and how hope had flickered back to life in their brief time together. What if his own hope could light the way for Chloe too? When he reached the school, he noticed her standing by the entrance, her backpack slung carelessly over one shoulder, her fingers scrolling through her phone. Jack's heart ached at the sight. She was still his little girl, yet a stranger in some ways. Taking a deep breath, he stepped out of the car, fear rippling through him like an electric current. "Chloe," he called, forcing a smile that felt too tight. She looked up, her face puzzled, then softened as she approached him. "Dad? What are you doing here?" "I wanted to surprise you," he said, his voice laced with cheer that he didn't quite feel. "Can we talk?" "Sure. What's up?" she replied, folding her arms, a hint of hesitation in her posture. They walked toward the park across the street, a familiar place where countless memories stirred laughter, ice cream, and long talks under the big oak tree. Sitting on a bench, Jack felt the moment stretching, ready to snap. "Chloe, I know I haven't been around," he started, his words tumbling over each other. "I've been working too much, and I didn't realize how hard that was on you." Chloe looked down, picking at the grass beneath her feet. "It's fine, Dad. I get it. You're busy." "It's not fine," he insisted. "You're important. No, you're everything to me. I don't want to miss out anymore." The sincerity in his tone hung in the air between them. She glanced at him, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "It feels like I'm just there, sometimes. Like I'm not really part of your life. Chloe." The realization hit him hard. The distance between them grew from neglect, not lack of love. "You are such a big part of my life. I want to make it real again. It starts today." "What do you mean?" she asked, her curiosity inching closer to the surface. "I want us to spend time together. How about a family day? Just you and me, maybe with some ice cream, then I'll take you to that new arcade?" Her lips nearly twitched into a smile, a flicker of hope sparking in her eyes. "That could be fun. And I promise, this is just the beginning. I want to hear what is going on in your life." The weight of his promises felt both exciting and terrifying. He realized he was not just asking for a chance, he was giving her one too. Silence enveloped them for a moment, then Chloe took a deep breath. "Okay, Dad. Let us do it." Jack could hardly contain the joy swelling inside him. They stood up, and he reached for her hand, his heart full as they walked side by side. Just as they reached the car, Jack's phone buzzed. A notification blinked. Mr. Simmons had sent a message. As he checked it, his heart sank. The community center was facing an unexpected challenge. Would the opportunity to help him and ultimately, his daughter slip away? What would Jack do next? Would he leave Chloe's side to tackle another father's crisis, or could he balance both the rekindling of his own relationship and the hope for Mr. Simmons? The weight of the moment pressed heavy on his shoulders. Jack's grip loosened around his phone, and the words danced in front of his eyes. Something about a funding issue, volunteers falling through, the community center at risk of shutting its doors. It was a lifeline for so many, including Chloe. It hit him hard. This was a man who had risked everything for his community, just like Jack had risked so much to win back his daughter. "Dad?" Chloe's voice pulled him from his thoughts. She was looking up at him, expression tinged with concern. "Are you okay?" "Yeah," he said, but the word felt heavy on his tongue. He fought to keep his expression neutral, but he could feel the walls creeping back up, the familiar armor forming over his heart. "Just a little message for work." Chloe studied him, her young eyes sharp, searching for what he was really feeling. "You don't have to pretend with me. You can tell me." Jack took a breath, savoring the moment. She cared. She really cared. But how could he burden her with his responsibilities? Still, the dilemma gnawed at him. "It's about the community center. It's complicated." Chloe's brow furrowed. "Is it closing? What if we help?" A smile tugged at the corners of his lips. "You want to help? You're supposed to be enjoying your day off." "I'm serious, Dad. My friends and I can do something. We have to stop it from closing. We love that place." Her enthusiasm struck a chord deep within him. Just a few moments ago, he had felt lost, unsure of the right path to take. Now, he realized they could tackle this together, father and daughter. "Okay, let us do it, but first, let us grab ice cream. It'll help us think." Chloe grinned widely, her earlier fears forgotten. "You've got a deal." They hopped into the car, and the short trip to the ice cream shop felt like a breath of fresh air. The air conditioner hummed softly, and Chloe's excited chatter filled the space. Every laugh, every enthusiasm made Jack's heart swell. This was what he had been missing, this was the sound of hope. Once at the ice cream shop, the sun shone brightly, and the colorful shop was buzzing with families enjoying their treats. Jack grabbed 2 cones, handing one to Chloe. As she took her first scoop, he watched her eyes light up. For a moment, he felt the barrier between them begin to dissolve. "What flavors did you choose?" she asked, a smear of chocolate ice cream appearing on her nose. "Mint chocolate chip," he replied with a chuckle. "And you?" "Rainbow sprinkle," she declared proudly, licking fervently. "You gotta love the classics." They found a bench just outside. Jack leaned back, enjoying the sun while Chloe animatedly recounted the latest news from school. Laughter spilled easily between them, and the lingering tension of earlier faded into the background. As she spoke, Jack's heart raced with the possibility of a future that included Chloe, Mr. Simmons, and the community center. He thought about how he had made bad decisions before, but this time, he would be there for both. With newfound determination, he interrupted her. "Okay, after we finish this, let us talk about how we can help the community center." "You're right, we can't let it close." Chloe's expression shifted. "Really? You'd want me to help?" "Absolutely. We're a team now." The gleam in her eyes was contagious. Together, they could do something special. And in that moment, both of them felt the shifting of the tides, how each scoop of ice cream was bringing them closer, how they would face challenges united. Just as they finished their cones, Chloe's phone buzzed. She looked down, her brow creasing sharply. "It's my friend Sarah. She wants to know if I'm free this weekend." And in that moment, Jack's stomach knotted. Would Chloe still prioritize him after reconnecting? Would their plans to address something bigger deepen their bond or cause a rift before it could really heal? What do you want to do?" he asked, trying not to let his concern show. The question hung in the air, and he could see her weighing her options. Would she choose to stand with him and help, or slip back into her own world? A future full of possibilities lay ahead, and he held his breath, waiting for her answer. Chloe's eyes flickered from her phone to her dad, uncertainty dancing in her expression. "I don't know," she replied slowly, chewing on her lower lip. Sarah really wants to hang out, but Jack felt the weight of that, fill the space between them. It was a slippery slope, an emotional tug-of-war he wasn't prepared for. Part of him wanted to urge her to choose volunteer work over her friends, but another part wanted to shout, "Stay! I need you." He knew that she had her own life, her own needs and friendships that mattered. "Why don't you text her back and see what she wants to do?" he suggested, striving for a casual tone. Chloe typed quickly, her brows still furrowed. Jack felt a spark of hope each time she glanced back at him, but it was often accompanied by a flicker of doubt. Would their mission be enough to put friendships aside? "Okay," she said, "they're just going to the park to hang out." Chloe's voice had a hesitant cheerfulness as she looked up, searching for his reaction. "That sounds fun," he replied. "But, what do you want?" She hesitated. "Maybe I should see my friends. I miss them." Jack's heart sank, but he took a deep breath. "You do what feels right. Just remember that whatever happens, I'm proud of you." Chloe's smile softened, a warmth washing over her features. "Thanks, Dad." She took his hand, squeezing it like a lifeline. But that warmth faded slightly when her phone buzzed again, breaking through their moment. Instead of the laughter and chatter of a weekend plan, it was a group message about a gathering at the community center. "See, Dad? A lot of my friends are asking about it." His heart raced again, hope rekindling. "What if you invited them to help out with a project? We can show them how important the center is." "That's a great idea," she exclaimed, her brown eyes sparkling with excitement. As she sent another message, Jack's heart softened. The potential for building something together was thrilling, but it was also daunting. Could they truly rally the kids to help? Would Chloe be able to balance her friendships and her commitment to the community? Doubt crept in again, whispering fears in his ear. Chloe's voice broke through his thoughts. Okay, so how about if I go to the park for a little while, then come back to plan with you? Jack nodded slowly, though uncertainty prickled at him. Was it too much to ask for a perfect weekend? That works, he replied, trying to summon a smile. Just don't forget our plan. It's important. Got it, Dad. Her energy bounced back, brightening the dimming day. She hopped up from the bench, grabbing her ice cream cup with both hands. I'll be back soon. We're going to make this work, I promise. He watched her scamper away, the vibrant swirl of her rainbow sprinkles trailing behind her. Each step felt heavy for him as he thought about the next steps. This sudden change of friendship meeting and a potential commitment to the community felt like a master plan unraveling. As they merged into two paths, Jack was left on the sidewalk, absorbing the sunshine that felt fleeting now that Chloe was gone again. He had to focus on the community center and standing strong for Chloe. What if this was the pivotal moment that could define their relationship? That possibility shimmered on the horizon, but uncertainty lingered. Would she come back committed, or would the allure of friendship pull her away? Jack couldn't shake the feeling that this weekend would change everything. He took a deep breath, ready for whatever lay ahead, but along with hope, doubt shadowed his heart. And it was then he realized he didn't just need support, he needed courage to step into the unknown, just like Chloe was about to. As he stood there, his phone buzzed with a new message from Mr. Simmons. It's urgent. We need to talk about the center. Can you meet me? Suddenly, the growing weight of the weekend's decisions surged within him. What awaited him in that meeting? Would it be a lifeline or the final nail in the community center's coffin? Jack felt a chill ripple down his spine as he read Mr. Simmons' message. He quickly glanced around, his mind racing with the implications. The community center was the heartbeat of their neighborhood, a place where Chloe had created so many memories. What could be so urgent that it brought about this sudden unease? He glanced at the park, where he could still spot Chloe's figure among a swirl of laughter and energy. For a moment, he let himself be swept up in that vision, the carefree moments of youth. It was bittersweet, a reminder of how quickly time slipped through their fingers. Steeling himself, he began to make his way toward the community center. Each step felt heavy, the weight of the message hanging on him like a storm cloud. Just as he reached the door, his phone buzzed again. This time, it was a video link from Chloe. Curious, he tapped on it. The screen lit up with her smiling face, surrounded by friends. Hey Dad. She beamed. Look at us. We're planning our project for the center. Their chatter filled the background, voices blending in excitement. Jack's heart lifted for a moment. This was what he had hoped for, a blend of friendship and community spirit. But then the video shifted to Sarah encouraging everyone to do something really awesome instead. The momentum shifted to a fun day out, leaving Jack feeling a mix of hope and worry. As he stepped through the center's doors, the sweet scent of freshly brewed coffee and the familiar hum of the community buzz greeted him. Mr. Simmons was already waiting, his brow furrowed. Jack, thanks for coming, he said, motioning toward a chair. We've run into some serious funding issues. If we can't secure support soon, this place might close down. Jack's stomach twisted into knots. What do you mean? We were doing well, right? Mr. Simmons shook his head, his eyes tired. We had some unexpected costs and some donors have pulled out. We need to rally the community, but timing is everything. If we can get some volunteers and show that we have support, it might just buy us time. Jack absorbed the harsh reality. Chloe's exuberance, her friendships, they weren't just about socializing. They were tied to community strength. And here was a moment that could either strengthen that bond or tear it apart. Okay. We'll gather people. We need to show that this center matters, Jack replied, the determination in his voice surprising even himself. Mr. Simmons nodded, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes. That's the spirit. We can brainstorm events, maybe even a volunteer day. Suddenly, Jack's mind flashed back to Chloe's earlier video, where her friends were planning something of their own. Could they turn that into something beneficial? He felt a surge of hope for the center and for Chloe too. Let's invite the kids from school to join in, Jack proposed. If we can make it fun and engaging, they might show up. Perfect, Mr. Simmons replied, visibly encouraged. We can promote it on social media, get everyone involved. As the two brainstormed late into the afternoon, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that this was the test of Chloe's resolve, their bond, and the center's future all wrapped into one. But just as ideas began to flow, a loud commotion erupted outside the excited cheers of Chloe and her friends returning from the park. Dad, you won't believe what just happened. Chloe burst through the door, her face a mixture of joy and surprise. We have to. But in her excitement, she paused, catching sight of Mr. Simmons, her expression shifting. The energy in the room pulsed with questions. What would she say next? Would she recognize the urgency of the moment, or would she drift into her own plans? Jack's heart raced as he realized they stood on the brink of a decision that could change everything. Chloe, wait. He called, suddenly feeling the weight of the moment. She turned, her eyes wide with anticipation and curiosity, as Jack prepared to connect their two worlds. Would they step forward together, or would this be the moment their paths diverged? Chloe hesitated, her excitement faltering as realization flickered in her eyes. The laughter of her friends faded into the background as she registered the gravity of the moment. The energy shifted, and Jack could see the conflict brewing within her, a child stepping into adulthood. Dad? Her voice softened, a hint of confusion evident. What is going on? Mr. Simmons cleared his throat, and Jack felt the weight of his responsibility. The conversation they were about to have would change everything. How to explain the urgency without dimming her spirit? Chloe, we need your help. The center is facing serious funding issues. If we don't act fast, it could close. Her face paled slightly, the vibrant glow of her earlier excitement dimming under the harsh light of reality. But, the projects we were working on, all our plans. They matter, Jack interrupted gently, reaching for her hand. That's why we need this place to stay open. It's where you and your friends have shared so many memories. We can't let that go just like that. Chloe glanced at Mr. Simmons, seeking affirmation. What can we do? She asked, her voice small now, but resolve creeping in. It starts with rallying the community, he said, sitting forward. I believe if we can show everyone how important this place is, we could save it. We need volunteers, events to spread the word, fundraisers, everything we can think of. Chloe nodded slowly, the gears in her mind beginning to turn. We could have a bake sale. And a talent show. Everyone loves that. Yes. Jack exclaimed, the first stirrings of hope igniting within him. And maybe a car wash. Young kids love that stuff. We can invite everyone to join. It'll be fun. Chloe's eyes sparkled again, the flicker of her youthful spirit reigniting. She brightened. And we can create a social media campaign. We'll show everyone how much this center means to us. Pictures, videos, everything. Mr. Simmons smiled, but it was tight-lipped, as if still holding his breath. That's the energy we need. If we can get the school involved, it might pull in more help. Chloe's friends had gathered outside the door after hearing snippets of the conversation, pressing their faces against the glass. Their energy felt like a pulse, alive and hopeful. She turned, beckoning them in. Guys, come in. We need your ideas. As they burst through the door, laughter and chatter filled the room, but Jack felt the tension of the moment. Would they grasp the importance of what lay ahead? Listen up, everyone. Chloe commanded, her voice steady. We have an awesome opportunity to help the community center. Who's with me? Jack could see a fire ignite in their eyes. They began bouncing ideas off one another, their faces lit with enthusiasm. It was beautiful and terrifying. He felt connected to her, yet terrified as he watched her stand tall. But then, amidst the laughter, a voice piped up. But what if it doesn't work? Silence fell over the group, and all eyes turned to Chloe. Jack watched the color drain from her face, the weight of uncertainty settling in. It was a reminder that hope was elusive and fragile. Jack stepped closer to her. Chloe, it means everything to try. No matter the outcome, showing up together is what matters. Yeah. She replied, her voice steadier this time. We're not just fighting for a building, we're fighting for our memories. For all of us. We can't give up before we even start. The energy cracked back to life, and cheers erupted around them. Yet, as Jack looked into Chloe's eyes, he caught a flicker of fear behind her unwavering smile. Would they find their strength in numbers, or would this effort expose their vulnerabilities? Let us do this together, Mr. Simmons said, clapping his hands to bring them back to focus. We're a community. Let us show them what we're made of. As plans for the project began to unfold, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that a deeper challenge was looming. Whatever triumph they achieved today might not be the end of their journey, but the beginning of something more complex and revealing than they could ever expect. What would they encounter on this path? What sacrifices would be required to save something they loved so dearly? Jack took a breath, knowing they were stepping into the unknown, and he couldn't help but wonder, would it strengthen their bond or ask them to face deeper truths about each other? Chloe felt the rush of adrenaline surge through her, as if a spark had ignited within her chest. The chatter of her friends swirled around like a whirlwind of ideas, some silly, some brilliant. In moments, she was swept up in the excitement, and the earlier doubts began to fade. We could hold a movie night. A girl named Sarah shouted, her eyes gleaming with mischief. People love popcorn and good flicks. Jack couldn't help but smile as their imaginations took flight. Each suggestion added fuel to the fire burning in the room, and he felt a warmth spread through him. But that nagging uncertainty lingered in the back of his mind, reminding him that enthusiasm wasn't enough, they needed a concrete plan. All right, everyone, he interjected, trying to steady the rhythm of ideas. Let us prioritize the events. We need to start planning for the bake sale and the talent show first. Who wants to take lead on those? Chloe stepped forward, confidence radiating from her as she looked at her friends. I can take care of the bake sale. I'll gather the recipes and get a list of volunteers to help bake. We can even have a contest for the best dessert. The group erupted in laughter at the thought, but it was energized laughter that promised action. I'll handle the talent show, shouted Daniel, practically bouncing with enthusiasm. We can set up auditions and make it really special, like our own little Oscars. We'll get the community excited. Perfect. Jack clapped, feeling a sense of camaraderie build. And Chloe, don't forget to add the social media push into the plan. We want to make sure we're reaching everyone. Chloe nodded, ready to tackle that task too. The pit of anxiety in her stomach started to settle, replaced by a rush of determination. Together, they could do this. As the planning session wore on, laughter and creativity flourished, blocking out the doubts that had previously loomed like a storm cloud. Chloe felt the support of her friends lifting her spirits. It was contagious, this feeling of unity. They were all in it together, and slowly, the center didn't feel like just a memory, it started to feel like a cause worth fighting for. But amidst the excitement, Jack noticed a figure lingering just outside the door, Mr. Simmons. His demeanor had shifted, and worry etched deeper lines on his face. Jack could see the hesitation, the weight of the world resting on his shoulders. Mr. Simmons, you okay? Jack called out, drawing everyone's attention to the concerned man. The room fell silent. "Yeah, I'm all right," he replied, but the uncertainty in his voice betrayed him. I hope you all truly understand how serious this is. I've been here long enough to see centers like ours close for reasons just like this. It's not just about fun events. If we don't hit our funding goals, I fear we won't have the means to stay open." Chloe's heart sank. The fun projects, the hopeful ideas they had just birthed, were they enough? She exchanged a glance with Jack, who seemed to feel the shift in the air as well. "Then we make it enough," Chloe said, her voice unwavering, the fear in her chest tightening. "We'll work harder. We'll bring in more people. It'll be a team effort. We're not giving up." The group murmured in agreement, but as excitement began to bubble once more, Jack couldn't shake the deeper challenge that hovered in the room. It felt monumental, a stark reminder that they were stepping into a reality far more complicated than the fun of a bake sale or a talent show. What if all their hard work wasn't enough? What if, at the end of this journey, they could still be left with nothing? As the planning continued, the stakes grew heavier. Everyone was smiling, but a dark cloud of uncertainty lingered. The moments of laughter felt fragile, like they were teetering on the edge of hope. Would this journey test them in ways they hadn't anticipated? What secrets might unfold as they pushed forward? Jack took a deep breath, feeling the weight of possibility settle around them. He wondered, was this merely a fight for a center, or was it about so much more than that? Chloe woke up the next morning with a determination that pulsed through her veins. The sunlight streamed through her window, casting golden rays across her cluttered room. She jumped out of bed, her mind racing with plans for the bake sale. A sense of urgency filled her, they needed to act swiftly. First on her agenda was grabbing a notebook. Flipping through its pages, she made a list of all the potential treats they could offer. Cookies, brownies, cupcakes, the sweet possibilities made her smile. But there was more than just sugar to think about. They needed to come up with a catchy name for the bake sale, something that would draw in the crowd. After jotting down ideas, she sent a quick text to Jack. "Hey! Thinking we should name the bake sale something vibrant. What about, Baked with Love?" Moments later, her phone buzzed with Jack's reply. "I love it. Let us roll with it. Can we brainstorm other ideas too, like decorations and flyers?" Chloe grinned, her excitement bubbling over. She could feel the energy of their discussion last night blend with her new resolve, giving her a powerful boost. She decided she would reach out to local bakeries and try to get some donations. Every little bit would help. Moving faster now, she dressed, books and notes flying onto her backpack. The community center beckoned, and she could almost hear the laughter they had shared the night before. Her heart raced as she stepped out into the fresh morning air, the smell of dew-kissed grass waking her. When she arrived at the center, the atmosphere was one of anticipation. Jack was already there, poring over a list of talent show acts. They exchanged enthusiastic greetings, and Chloe couldn't help herself from sharing her idea. "Baked with Love," she announced excitedly. "It'll be awesome, right?" Jack's eyes lit up. "That's perfect. We need to get the word out as soon as possible. I'll set up a meeting. We should rally everyone to help with planning and creating buzz." As Chloe and Jack started working side by side, more friends trickled in, each bringing fresh ideas and vibrant energy. Sarah volunteered to make posters, while Daniel offered to promote the events through his social media. It wasn't long before Mr. Simmons appeared at the entrance, his previous worry still lingering in his eyes. Yet as he saw the chaos of creativity, the laughter, the collaboration, a flicker of hope ignited in his expression. Chloe noticed the way his shoulders eased and the corners of his mouth turned up. "I see you all have gotten started. That's great to see," he said, and for the first time, it felt like the weight he carried was lifting a bit. "Every little effort counts." Chloe stepped forward. We'll make this work, Mr. Simmons. We won't let you down. Her sincerity rang through the crowd, sparking a round of reassurances from her friends. As they dove into conversations about budgeting and planning, the day sped by. Time flew as laughter intermingled with ideas. Chloe felt buoyant, almost invincible. Yet there were moments when her heart would momentarily sink. The reality of what lay ahead loomed over her, but she pushed that aside. Then came the crunch. Chloe received a surprise text from a parent of one of the kids who frequented the center. "Do you need help with anything? I've been hearing about what you're doing, and I'd love to get involved." Grateful, Chloe responded, thrilled with the growing community support. But as her enthusiasm peaked, she caught a glimpse of Jack, his brow furrowed in contemplation. It was as though he was carrying a weight unseen by any of them. "Jack, what's on your mind?" she asked, her voice filled with concern. He hesitated and then sighed. "I'm just thinking, is it enough? Are we stretching ourselves too thin?" His words struck her like a lightning bolt. What if this all backfired? Could they truly pull off something big enough to make a real difference? As doubts swirled in the air between them, Chloe noticed something that lit a spark of courage inside her. "We can't think like that. Remember what Mr. Simmons said? Every little effort counts. Even if we trip up, we'll learn and come back stronger." Jack met her gaze, and though the uncertainty still flickered in his eyes, there was a hint of gratitude too. "I hope you're right," he said softly, and she could see him searching for reassurance. Chloe took a deep breath, her heart racing slightly faster. "We have to believe, Jack. Together, we're unstoppable." But as they shared a moment of hope, deep down, Chloe couldn't shake the feeling that their fight wasn't just for the center. It was for something bigger. What if this was the beginning of facing their deepest fears and unearthing hidden truths? And as they resumed their planning, a seed of doubt sprouted again. Could they be brave enough to confront whatever challenges lay ahead? Would their unity withstand the trials to come? The days blended together as Chloe, Jack, and their friends poured their hearts into the community center project. The countdown to the bake sale began, an electric current of excitement buzzing in the air. Word spread like wildfire. They held meetings, made colorful flyers, and shared posts across social media. Each time someone chimed in, each idea volleyed back and forth, Chloe felt their energy multiply. It was all they could talk about. But amid this whirlwind, she sensed a quiet undercurrent of concern from Jack and Mr. Simmons. They shared looks, the kind that spoke volumes. Chloe wanted to confront it, but didn't quite know how. Men, especially those who reduced their emotions to gruff nods, were complicated. "Okay, everyone," Jack called during one of the rally meetings on a sunny Saturday morning, his enthusiasm bubbling over. "We've got our talent show lined up next Friday. Now let's tighten our plans for Baked with Love. Who's ready to volunteer?" Hands shot up, cheers erupted, and for a moment, it felt like no worries existed. But as his grin widened and his energy enveloped the room, Chloe couldn't help but notice the stress lines growing deeper on his forehead. After the meeting wrapped, she approached Jack quietly, her heart thudding, nervously bouncing her foot. "Hey, can we talk?" "Sure, what's up?" he asked, but his eyes darted toward Mr. Simmons, who was currently buried in paperwork at the back of the room. "What's really going on? You seem different. Is it the community center?" Her voice was steady, concern lining her voice. Jack sighed, rubbing the back of his neck, a familiar gesture when he felt cornered. "It's just tough, Chloe. The truth is, even if we have an amazing turnout, we might still hit a wall. Money tough to come by, and some funding still feels shaky." The optimism that had once radiated in Chloe's heart dimmed slightly. "But we're doing everything we can. Isn't that enough?" "This isn't just about our project," he continued, the weight of vulnerability evident. There are people depending on this place. If we can't get the funding needed, well, his voice trailed off. Suddenly, the relief from the past few days felt thin. Those smiles and cheer echoed hollowly against this stark reality. But just as despair nudged at her heart, she couldn't let it take root. Then we fight harder. We need to share our story, Jack. Show people how the center has helped us and how it can help others. Every voice, every connection can matter. A glimmer appeared in his eyes, a flicker of hope against fear. You're right. We're not in this alone. Chloe steeled herself and raced to announce a new campaign idea: help us save our home. She gathered everyone together, the excitement charged as they brainstormed next steps. If we collect stories from the community about what the center means to us, we can inspire others to join our fight, she announced. Let us get video testimonies, anecdotes, even every little thing can make a difference. Can my mom help? A boy named Leo spoke up excitedly. She's a photographer. She can put together a whole video. Yes. Chloe beamed, feeling the beginnings of something powerful taking shape. The room buzzed with renewed energy and purpose, as each person dove in, ready to contribute in any way they could. Jack and Mr. Simmons, watching from the side, exchanged proud glances. Chloe caught the brief moment, feeling new strength wash over her. This is exactly the fight they needed. As the days passed, joy and trepidation danced hand in hand, and soon it was the night of the bake sale. The big event was finally here. The turning point. Brick piled upon brick, they had built each course together. The sun set into twilight, as families flocked in, laughter filling the air. Chloe's heart raced. Look! Everyone came. Jack swept a hand over the bustling crowd. They did, Chloe. You did it. As Chloe moved to set up her tables full of baked goods all beautifully arranged with pastel ribbons and hearts, she could practically feel her dreams in her fingertips. There were smiling faces everywhere, and each one reignited her hope. But the weight of this night knotted her stomach. Would enough people show support? Would they raise enough money? As worry threatened to creep in again, she glanced at the crowd, positioning herself at the edge of the center. Moments later, Mr. Simmons approached, a wide grin breaking through his earlier tension. Chloe. This is amazing. You've done all this. Thank you. But it's not just me. Everyone worked hard. She felt warmth bloom in her chest. As the hours flew by, laughter erupted and joy radiated from every corner. Vendors hustled, friends sang, and weary parents admired the breathtaking spectacle around them. By midnight, even Jack looked flushed with happiness, his earlier tension fading. Finally, just as the event began to wind down, it happened. A crowd of people flowed into the center, local politicians and influential business owners, their faces brightened when they grasped the significance. Their presence felt electrifying. We've been hearing amazing stories about the community center. We want to join you in saving it, one businessman announced, a smile spreading across his face. Chloe felt her heart soar. The plans, the commitment, the journey, it had all led to this. Her entire essence vibrated with warmth as they shared small gestures and words of support, building connections and paving a way to newfound hope. As the evening wrapped up, Jack gathered with Chloe in the center beneath the soft glow of fairy lights. You did it, kiddo. We're going to make it. With a smile as wide as the world, Chloe hugged Jack tightly. No, we did it together. Thank you for believing. In that moment, she could sense how they'd all transformed, each one evolving alongside resilience. She realized that this journey had created a bond stronger than any uncertainty, knitting them into a family, even if just for now. The next day they'd all worked tirelessly to secure more support, but tonight, they reveled in laughter and success. Explorations lay ahead, whispers of courage and connection filled the air. As they stood hand in hand, united in this fight, embracing both the thrill of change and the shadows of doubt. Chloe felt them take a crusty step forward together, into tomorrow, where hope illuminated even the darkest corners. So much was at stake, yet everything felt possible. The journey lay ahead, ripe with promise, and she knew this was just the beginning. "Do you think this is it?" Jack asked, as they turned to gaze at the budding night sky. "Of course not," Chloe grinned, determination coursing through her veins. "This is just the start." With renewed spirits and the promise of faces yet to come, Chloe took a deep breath, ready to embrace not just what was to come but all that had already been fought for. Before they part ways, every heart bursting with excitement and courage, they felt the depth of their journey together. They had turned the tide and shed light on the impact they could truly make, as bridges forged grew into resilient family bonds, urging them to press on. It was transformation in action. And they fight for every moment, together. Now is the time you step forward. Don't hesitate. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep this community growing. Comment below on your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending. We want to hear your voice. And finally, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to support these amazing stories, and only true fans understand the urgency of acting now. Don't wait not even one more second to share.